Hello and welcome to my channel. I'm Joan and this is Joan's Pointed Plate, and today we are going to do a cook with me. We will be making a recipe from the Skinny Taste website, and it is called Salisbury steak meatballs. It is for the Instant Pot or the stovetop or the slow cooker. I'm going to use my Instant Pot. I will admit I do not use my Instant Pot nearly enough. I hard boil eggs, I cook chicken, I make yogurt. Oh, and I do make a mean sloppy joe in there, but that's really all I've really done with it. So I'm really trying to get better about using it, and we're gonna try these meatballs tonight. So, you know, with me, it's real life. Hopefully it goes well because my family is hungry. So let's get started on our Salisbury steak meatballs. So in the Instant Pot, I have 1 teaspoon of olive oil and I have it on saute. And I am going to throw in some onions and get those sauteing until they're soft, probably for about 4 or 5 minutes maybe. So I am going to just let them cook and keep stirring them around while I prepare the other ingredients. Okay, our onions are done. So I am going to put them into a bowl, because we are going to need to divide them in half. We're going to put half into the meat mixture and half into the sauce mixture. Okay. Now, let's see. This is there's a lot of ingredients to this recipe. It doesn't seem hard. It's just a lot of ingredients and a lot of components of the recipe. So I apologize for keep looking down at the recipe. Okay, so now we are going to take half of our sauteed onions and combine them with the meat. The original recipe from Skinny Taste calls for half a pound of lean ground beef. This is the 96%, and a half a pound of ground turkey. I'm not a fan of ground turkey, so I am using all beef. So we have our pound of ground beef, and we have half of our onions. And to that, we are going to add 1 ounce of chopped mushrooms. We are going to add a 1/3 cup of seasoned breadcrumbs, which I was out of. So I threw some garlic, salt, pepper, and parsley in regular breadcrumbs. Works for me. We're going to add in an egg. We're going to add in a tablespoon of tomato paste. I'm laughing. My husband's laughing at me because I just threw the egg right into the sink. I made it though. It's how we roll around here. We keep it real. We are not staged. We are not in a studio. I'm in my house. Okay, so tomato paste and then a 1/4 cup of beef broth. And then salt and pepper. It says 3/4 teaspoon of each. I just kind of shake it in there. Okay. Now, it says to combine it. My favorite way to combine anything like this is with my hands. They are clean, I did wash them. We are gonna mix that all up. Oh, it's very wet. This is the first time I'm making this, like I said. Never made this before. Make Salisbury steak all the time, but not this recipe. Okay, so that is mixed. And the next thing we are going to do is blend up. Sorry about that, my phone rang and disrupted the recording. So in this bowl, I have a tablespoon of flour and I'm going to add 1 cup of beef broth and whisk that together. I'm thinking if this is making the gravy, next time instead of using flour, I will probably use cornstarch. I like a cornstarch gravy more than a flour gravy. But usually when I make something for the first time, I try to stick to the recipe. Okay, and to that, we are going to mix in the remaining onions. another tablespoon of tomato paste, one teaspoon of red wine vinegar, and 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce. I can't say that. 2 teaspoons, I'm sorry, of that. And then a quarter teaspoon of dry mustard. And we're going to mix that all up. We're going to set that aside, and then we are going to get started shaping our meatballs. We are going to divide this into 20 meatballs. So off camera, I am going to weigh it, divide it by 20, so I know how big to make each meatball. I will show you what it looks like when we start browning them in the pot. Okay, so the pot is back on saute, and I put another teaspoon of olive oil in there. I also sprayed some olive oil spray because I just don't think it's going to be enough to cook these. So there's our 20 meatballs, and each one weighs 39 grams. I am going to put them in and brown them for about 2 minutes on each side. The recipe says not to turn them until they are ready to turn, and they will be ready to turn once they're brown enough. And it says to do them in batches, which you kind of have to. I have a 6-quart Instant Pot, by the way. You could fit more if you were doing an 8, but I am going to do them in batches. Honestly, this recipe is taking a very long time. It takes 10 minutes to cook once it comes up to pressure, and then it has to natural release. And that's one of my issues with the Instant Pot. It's not as instant as you would think. There was definitely a lot of prep to this and a lot of steps, but I have the time today. My family's just wasting away a little bit starving, so it's not too bad. So I will let these go for about 2 minutes. I will turn them, and I will start on the next batch, and I will be back to show you what they look like. Oh, and also, it calls to just throw the rest of your mushrooms. It called for 5 ounces of mushrooms. We took 1 ounce out to chop. We love mushrooms, so I went with 8 ounces of mushrooms, and I have 7 left to add there. It says to just throw them in. I would really like to brown them up a little bit, so once all the meatballs are in, I'm going to toss these in and brown them up a little bit, saute them up. So I will show you that when I'm back. This batch of meatballs is done browning. I gotta say, the meat mixture is very soft, so you have to be very careful or it will just kind of crumble. Not quite sure about that. So now, oh, and I definitely, with each batch, I didn't want to add more olive oil, because I didn't want to add more points, but I did have to spray the heck out of this. I am so not looking forward to cleaning this. So now I'm going to throw in my mushrooms and just get those a little bit brown. Like I said, it doesn't say to do that in the directions, but it's what I feel like I need to do. So I'm going to let those saute just for about 5 minutes or so. And then I will be back to put it all together and turn on the pot. Okay, so I sauteed up the mushrooms a little bit. And now I am just going to add the meatballs back in. Very gently, because like I said, this meat mixture is very soft. And I don't want them to fall apart. I'm trying to keep them whole. I'm a little bit worried about taking them out to serve them. Gonna have to figure that one out. I've kind of deducted that this actually might be quicker to do it on the stovetop than in the Instant Pot. Because now, once we get all these back in, We are going to add salt and pepper, it says. Pour our sauce on top. And then we are going to put our lid on. Turn it to seal, and we are going to cook on high pressure for 10 minutes. So it's nice and hot, so hopefully it'll get up to pressure quickly. And then it has to natural release. So I'm not sure how long that's going to take. To do this on the stovetop, it only cooks for 20 minutes. I have a feeling it might take a little bit longer in here. I don't know. I'm trying to be good. I'm trying to be a good Instant Pot girl and use it more. But we'll see. But that being said, I do love it for hard-boiled eggs. It makes amazing hard-boiled eggs. It makes great shredded chicken. And like I said, sloppy joes. I'll make that sometime next month for you, the sloppy joes, because they take a long time too, because it's a million ingredients just like this. But they're really, really good. So I will make those. If you're interested in an Instant Pot, I do have this exact one linked below in the description box in my Amazon store. But that's it for now. We just have to wait. I will be back to show you what it looks like plated up. I'm going to go make my mashed potatoes and my broccoli. So here it is all plated up. The meatballs are 1 point each. A serving is 5 meatballs for 5 points. And I also have some mashed potatoes. And I did say I was having broccoli, but game time decision changed it to corn because I love to mix my corn with my mashed potatoes. So that's what we're having. I will be back to let you know how it tastes and to give you my final thoughts on this Instant Pot recipe. Okay, so my final thoughts on my Instant Pot Salisbury steak meatballs. They were good. They weren't as good as my regular Salisbury steak recipe that I make on top of the stove, but they were good. The ones I make on top of the stove were easier to make. This had a lot of steps, and this actually took longer. It took 8 minutes for the pressure cooker to come to pressure, 10 minutes for them to cook, and then 15 minutes for them to natural release. So that's a lot of time, but they were good. Would I make them again? Probably not. Or if I made them again, I would make them on the stove. But like I said, I kind of like my other recipe a little bit better. So that's the one I'll probably stick with. But not everything can be a perfect 10 every time. So let me know if you think you will give this a try. Let me know if you have any tried and true recipes for the Instant Pot, because I really, really do want to use it more. I just don't. Leave me a comment below and let me know. And I've had a lot of people asking me how to leave a comment. What you need to do is, under my video is the description box. If you click on the little down arrow, that'll give you everything that's in my description box, recipes, discount codes, things like that. And then if you scroll down, you'll see all the suggested videos that are similar to the ones that you watch, like similar Weight Watcher ones or Cook With Me ones. After that is where the comments start. So that's where you can leave me a comment. So leave me a comment. Let me know what I should make in my Instant Pot to make me love it. Besides eggs and chicken and yogurt. And give this video a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that notification bell. You know the drill. And I will see you in a couple days for a grocery haul and menu plan. Good night.